Referred to as the custodians of wisdom, culture and tradition, old people occupy a respectable place in the African society. Just like they care for the young ones while growing, the elderly, through the African extended family system, also enjoy care and support from the young ones as they age. Unlike Western countries where elderly people are kept in some secluded old people's home, Africans and indeed Nigerians care for their elders in the family home or community where they live. In fact, in most villages, the youths take turn to provide for their daily needs like fetching water and firewood, cooking or running errands for them. But that was in the past. With increasing poverty in most rural communities, these caregivers, who are mostly the energetic youths, are moving in droves to the city in search of greener pastures, first leaving the elderly to fend for themselves, and with the deterioration in their health status brought about by age, poverty, poor and non-existent health facilities, their living condition is greatly challenged. The ones that find themselves in the city end up as beggars and destitute, while the ones at home suffer neglect and loneliness. With a myriad of problems begging for government scarce resources, care for the elderly is certainly not getting the desired attention that it deserves, which explains why the initiative to set up a befitting old people's home by a good-spirited Nigerian is not only apt but expedient to dignify the elderly in our society as they gracefully grow old. Welcome to the Pulse Old People's Home, a non-governmental organization conceived by Barrister Mrs. Hawa Umar Jibrin. Mrs. Hawa Umar Jibrin is a lawyer and a social rights activist with passion for indigent women and vulnerable children. Her legal practice in the private and public sector spanned over 2 decades, most of which is dedicated to the protection of the voiceless in the society. With vast experience gathered from her professional body, the International Federation of Female Lawyers, FIDA, Women Rights Advancement Protection Alternative, RAPA, and other international organizations, Barrister Mrs. Hawa Umar Jibrin indeed equipped for the task ahead. But what informed her interest in providing succor for the elderly and vulnerable in our society?
The dream has been in me over the years while I was growing up, and because I am passionate about parents and old people. While I was growing up, I had the opportunity of going with my mom to the old people's home, and there she rendered some services to them, and I watched them with keen interest. I was wondering if somebody had to grow up without children, or an old person had to find himself in a place where he knew nobody, what would become his fate? I realized that most old people then were not taken care of by only their children and relatives. They were also taken care of by the society. But as time goes on, I realized all these values have been diminished. Children, because of urban migration, children leave their homes to other places. The society too has become more digital, busier than what it used to be. So most times you find that the old people are left on their own. The people leave them at home and go to places of work, and they are lonely. Then no program has been put in place for them, particularly the government of the country. We seem not to have any program for the aged. And that is why I said, okay, we could start this way. Start by getting a non-governmental organization to create awareness and to draw the attention of government to make sure that while you are aging, you don't regret aging. Aging is supposed to be enjoyed. You are supposed to age happily and gracefully. And you are not supposed to age lonely, because loneliness is one quick way to kill the aged. And that is why I said, okay, if I begin this way, I'm sure other people want to key into the program, and by so doing, we're going to change the society for the better.
And what is the vision of the organization?
The vision is basically to see that the aged and the destitute, who otherwise would have been neglected and left to die, have a place and have somewhere to call a home.
And the mission?
Promote and protect the aged from the hazards of life, from the neglect of life.
Actualizing such lofty projects requires a well thought out strategy. What do we have?
First of all, we want to start by creating awareness. We want to go to places, allow people know what we want to do. Let's see whether the people will key into what we want to do. And it's not just because we want to keep old people at home. No, that's not the whole thing. The thing is that we want the old people to get, their own program in life, like going for shopping, like having a recreational facility, like having where to relate with people of their peer groups. Not just about getting a home and then dumping them there, no. It's just trying to make them happy, trying to see that even places like National Health Insurance, places like the pension scheme, other places that otherwise would have been, they just look at them as, okay, you are just old, come and take your money and go, or just come and queue up and get whatever. No, that's not what we want. We want people to look at them like these people need care. And if you want to care for them, you must put program in place. The program will have to begin maybe by getting them together, by loving them, by making them know that there are people who still want you around and we want you to be happy and want you to live longer. Then we now get organizations that will come in to help out. Those that will come in to tell us they want to help these people by taking care of them health-wise. We need psychiatrists, we need psychologists, we need other health assistants, because as they are aging, normally, their health fields, they have many health challenges. You have things like dementia, you have things like arthritis, other mental problem, falling. A lot of things happen to them. So we want, when we get them together, we need people to come around and volunteer, talk to them, tell them how to go about doing things and how to manage certain things when they have them. Because sometimes it's not all about drugs. Sometimes it's all about getting somebody to tell you what to do. And we also want to get people who will volunteer to come around. Maybe students can come from schools and sit with them, talk with them, play with them. They tell them stories. Because there are stories that are forgotten because of the value system way of doing things now. In those days, you could get them together and tell them once upon a time a king was this and that. Although they read them on the internet, but I think hearing from the aged will give them a lot of joy and happiness. And they should also learn to respect the aged.
If this project is a departure from the usual homes where old people are dumped and forgotten, what new ideas is the concept bringing to the table in terms of architectural design and facilities?
It's going to be in phases. We will have a hostel that we can accommodate people just like the hostel. We also have chalets, like hotel, where you can, get, maybe depending on the situation, depending on the health condition of the aged, where you can keep and, let the aged have everything of theirs to themselves and have a caregiver. Because some of them, by the virtue of their age, you don't lump them together. And within the vicinity, you will have recreational facilities. You also have dining. You also have art and craft section. You also have where they can do some sporting events. You can also have reception. You can also have a clinic, or maybe you call it dispensary, maybe for first aid and maybe for those who you need to administer drugs to, because some of them come in with all manner of health conditions. So if you have doctors who have prescribed and they have given them drugs, we'll need somebody around who will give them drugs as at when due. We also have those who will come around maybe to check their blood pressure, to check if they are diabetic, to see that their condition is stable, it's not getting worse, and to also do the daily routine. And that is why we are saying that we want stakeholders like doctors, nurses, specialists, psychiatrists, consultants and other people to key in. By the time we start, we appeal to them to key in, to come in there, because this is a non-governmental organization, and we are doing it to make the society better. If you want reward, you can come around, get your reward by doing some of these things. Sometimes we'll be forced to, we have our staff that we employ, like cleaners, like receptionists, like cooks, because we need to cook for them. So we employ those ones, we pay for those services. But there are some that are specialized services that we need people to volunteer. When they come in, it's like a pro bono service. We're also trying to see that we get vehicles like ambulances, like buses, like cars, for their movement from one place to another in case of emergency. Because if you need to move somebody from the home to the hospital for one reason or the other, you need vehicles.
Collaboration is key in any project. Are there plans to work with other organizations?
To be collaborating with the United Nations, with WHO. That's when we take off. We're going to make our activities known to them, and then we will also want to collaborate with the local NGOs, those who are into maybe advocacy, those who are into humanitarian services, yes, so that they can key in and come when they want to come, and then do whatever they have to do as part of their contribution to this NGO.
As it is today, there is no law that supports special status for the elderly in Nigeria. Are there plans to initiate constitutional recognition for the aged?
There should be a bill recognizing that aged people need so and so in the society, and they need people to key into it. Because like we're talking about health, in other climes you find that the aged have rebate. Whatever they want to do, the price they get is less than what the normal person will get. They also have this attention, where when you get into a bus, you find that there is a seat for the aged, and you respect that. You don't violate it. You also have space outside the city centers, where they have made buildings so that it can accommodate the pensioners, those who are retired. Because at that time they know they don't need too much noise, they don't need too much hassle. All they need to do is to go outside, they can get fresh air, go around, walk around without molestation and without accident. And we also need buildings to be aged friendly. Because you go to a lot of places now, there are no lifts, there are no embankment where you can say, okay, the aged person can use wheelchair or whatever. Although I will give kudos to Mr. President for passing the law against disability, it will also cater for the aged. But the aged too need a friendly environment, friendly building in the supermarket, hospitals, wherever they go, because it's not all the time they can do the climbing and coming down. And their food, the kind of food they eat too, with time it changes. So we'll need maybe if it's a sort of card they can get, as soon as they go there and show their card, they subsidize their prices for them so that they can afford. Because for an aged person who is having diabetes, he needs to eat a different kind of food from the normal aged person. And if he doesn't have that kind of money, it means his condition will deteriorate, because there's nobody that will help in that wise, except the government help to to give rebates or to give subsidy when it comes to that kind of, even their drugs. Because now they go to the pharmacy, they buy drugs just like any other person buys. It's not where you can show a card and say, I'm so age and I have diabetes, and your price goes down. It's like every other person you see on the street. So we need government to key in here so that they can take care of certain aspect of the aged.
And what are your expectations from good-spirited people?
My expectation is high, and my prayer is that I hope we all know the value of the aged in the society. My prayer is that people will, key into it. People will, give their support in whatever way they can. Individuals can support. You can come in there as an individual and say, oh, this is home for the aged, I need to do this for them, and you'll be welcome, and we'll be very happy that you're supporting us, because now it's not the time to begin to say we need so thing. We need everything, but it's time that we tell what we get from people outside. And I also want them to look at it like one day they could be there too. The aging is for everybody, and we always pray that we age gracefully. And when we age, we want to see that we're aging in peace, aging with so much happiness.
Is this project specially for people who will be accommodated in the home?
There are times that the children want to go somewhere, they want to travel, they want to go and enjoy themselves, but they have some aged people around and they think of, where do I keep this aged person? If the aged home is, the home for the aged is there, that's the old people's home, you can just come around. Like I said, we're going to do like all this challenge. You can come around, you keep your old people there, and for the time period that you will not be around, and then they will stay there comfortably and peacefully until you return and you take them back home. They can also come from the home, when they are bored, because it's a place where they will meet a lot of aged people like them. They can come spend the time with them during the day, chat with them, play with them, and you can come and pick them up and take them back home, so that at least they will feel they have that sense of belonging. They will be happy. At least you on your own too, you know that your parents are safe somewhere.
And where will the home be situated?
We are looking at the federal capital for the beginning, because we cannot extend it to anywhere we are not there. We start here and let's see how it works. And by the time we continue, I'm sure other people from other places, by the time we do things like seminars, workshop, advocacy, if there are people who are interested from other parts of the country, then we will go around and see where we can set up others. Then we know that we have people of interest. We know people who are interested, who can help us nurture it and grow it. Because as we are starting, we are not big in number. We're just starting, very few people are starting it, and then it's only when people come for our workshops, our seminars in future, when we continue, then we now know who are interested, and we know which part of the country we are now going to begin to continue to open this sense.
What is your message for people watching or listening to you?
The dream is a dream that I know everybody has thought of, because everywhere you talk about it, somebody, oh, we've been thinking about it. Starting it is not going to be easy, and maintaining it is not going to be easy. So we are asking Nigerians, wherever you are, think about it. You have something to offer. Wherever you are, you have something to offer. So you will locate us. Try and see that you bring to us, even if there are ideas. We need moral support. We need financial support. We need material support. We all need this. So wherever you think you can key into this, our program, we'll be glad.
There is an African proverb that says, if your elders take care of you while cutting your teeth, you must in turn take care of them while they are losing theirs. Let's join hands with the Paul's Old People's Home to put smiles on the faces of the old and vulnerable in our society. Thank you very much for watching. You can reach the organization on telephone number 080 33 119 886 089 10 566 51, or email the organization on pauseoldpeopleshome@gmail.com. The website is pauseoldpeopleshome.com.